Hello there, guys, and welcome back to Scottish Hill Talking. This month, I've been doing a lot of work on training for the Kilt Walk, which is a week this Sunday coming on the 24th of April. Thank you to everybody who has donated to my Just Giving page. The link is still live down below on Spotify, on YouTube, on everywhere else that I post this. So if you like to help me out, please do. I'm raising money for CHAS, which is a children's hospices across Scotland. I've currently made nearly £100, which is fantastic. My target is 150, so I'm within that donation target. I hope. I'm also doing it with my wife, who is doing it on behalf of Clyde Court and the Four Seasons, which is her care home where she works as a Magic Moments creator, which is basically the activities coordinator, but that's what her official job title is Magic Moments creator, and she loves telling everybody that. But yeah, like, this has been a great wee month for me. I've been really busy. I've been doing a lot of hikes, a lot of exploring hikes as well, on routes that I've talked about in the past, and then like diverting and stuff like that. Doing some like off trail hiking, should I say? I even had a moment where I almost got lost, and thanks to my scout skills, I was able to use an old school compass to get back to where I knew I was going. So if you're ever in a jam, it's always a good idea to make sure you have some scouting skills under your belt, apparently. I was even in the paper, which is great, both for the Kilt Walk and for the podcast. So thanks to Gordon and George Monroe and Gordon McCracken, who helped do the article, and George, who took the photos. Hold on, I'll show you it. So if you're not watching on Spotify, this will probably be the thumbnail for this particular episode. But because I just love this photo of me, it's me and my kilt. I'm up Tower Hill. There we go. Check me out. Matt making strides for good cause. Good alliteration right there. But yeah, there's a great wee article talking about my mental health, how doing the podcast has helped my mental health, doing the sort of things, helping share some techniques on how to help you guys as well who are listening. It was brilliant, like a wee bit of exposure. Hopefully I'll be able in the future to be able to get a hold of some of the sort of organisations like Sam H or even Man on Inverclyde to come on to the show as well. We could probably do a recording over this sort of. I do mine's on StreamYard. That's not a plug. That's just who I use. But like Zoom works as well, because everybody should be adept in Zoom by now. It's been 2 years nearly. In fact, so more than 2 years since we all jumped to the internet for this. Because work has been really busy because we've had to open up the full ward due to COVID problems. But like the adaptive scout that I am, I take on any challenge, and I've actually really enjoyed learning and stuff like that. As always, my mental health is improving. I do have some bad days. I do have some really, really bad days. But I'm not in the same position I have been for the last few years, and I feel like it is thanks to this podcast, to be honest, or doing any of my podcasts in general, like Who Cares Nerds. The link will be in the bio. I'm currently also doing some archery training for the scouts, so I'll be able to teach them how to do pew stuff. Cannot wait to do that. And like for my Kilt Walk stuff, so my main talk on this month will be it's just like a wee update more than an actual route or anything like that I've taken, although there has been a couple of wee adventures that went up. So in the past I have spoke about the Guruk Moors, which is one of my favourite places to go in Guruk because it's just open, like sort of farmland mostly, and it's just the views are just beautiful, like especially if you get a really clear day. So sometimes, like in the past, I've even done it on TikTok where I've done a little video of where I usually take the dogs up the hills, and you see a great wee view of the River Clyde and everything. You get to see the whole of Gourock all the way down to Greenock. You can even see across the water to Dunoon. So I thought I'll go see what's even higher up. So I managed to get to the very peak of the hill. Oh, excuse me. Where at the very top there was a seat and a sort of, I can't remember what you call them, the sort of stones that have like the hole with the positioning lines on it. I can't remember what you call them. But it was a couple of weeks ago, me and Bud, the dog, went up there. We were just out for a day's walk. We thought we'll go for a wee adventure, and I like moors, so I thought I'd go up. It's a nice clear day. Took some water. Didn't take enough water, which is the rule that we all learned in episode 1 of this podcast, which I forgot to follow because I didn't think I would be out so long, and I didn't think it would be as hot. So my mistake. But we made it all back in time. So what we did was we got to the very peak. We had an amazing view of all the way across. We could even see all the way over to Dumbarton and like Argyll and everything. Seeing the ferries going over to Dunoon. But it was a cracking view. And then we started heading towards Lunderson Bay, which is to the west of the peak. So we were following that. There were some paths. There was also some hill walkers out, but I couldn't find where they were coming from. So I was just kind of guessing as I was going. And then the paths kind of disappeared and it turned into complete farmland. And I was like, I know you have to go through some farmland bits to get to where you want to go. So I went that way, and then I got to an edge, and then I found a whole load of forest. So I thought, right, I'll be able to get through the forest. Did not be able to make it through the forest. There's a lot of thick trees. Bud was even struggling at some points, which is when I decided to turn back. And then when I came out of the forest, I was at a different point of where I went in, and I thought I was going to be lost. But luckily, like the good scout that I am, where are you? I was carrying this wee bad boy. So I always make sure I've got one of these on me, and I always make sure that it's calibrated before I go. But really handy, and I figured, right, I've been heading west, so if I head east, I'll be able to make sure that I get to where I go. I wasn't just thinking, right, I've been heading west for so long. I was making sure as I was walking west, I was using this to make sure I was going that way. So I just decided to 180 degrees, and then I was like, if I've been following this the whole way, this will get me back to roughly where I was. And it did. And yay. So it's always good to have a wee bit of scouting skills with you for when you're doing some off-road, off-route adventuring. But yeah, that was a great wee day out. I did end up a wee bit dehydrated at the end of it because I didn't take enough water with me. I've also bought a new wee bit of kit for the walks. Bought a bladder for my bag. So I'll be trying that out for the Kilt Walk. And I've also got myself some new insoles as well. I'll need to make sure that I get some painkillers apparently, because according to everybody on the Facebook page that does the Kilt Walk every year, that's one of the main things that everybody recommends, as well as your kilt. It does look pretty good on the Robin costume, I've got to admit, doesn't it? Like, I like it. But yeah, mental health wise, I am doing pretty well. I've had some rough days here and there, but that's down to just some of the stuff that we're having to deal with in work and stuff like that. But it's nothing compared to what I've been going through for years in the past. Like, I'm not having any really, really bad days. I've just had some dips, but nothing that's lasted too long. And the main thing that has helped me, as I said, was this podcast. So thanks to everybody who's been listening. For the last nearly 2 years I've been doing this. Wow, I need to think of something to do for the 2-year anniversary. I'll need to pick a hill finally. Because lockdown it's not completely over. Well, no, lockdowns aren't completely over, but the pandemic's still here. But we do have a lot more open access, so I might even be able to go and finally do Ben Lomond, which was my original plan. That day we did the cobbler. So hopefully I'll be able to do that with some pals. And other stuff like trying to get some charities to come on and interview them and stuff like that, and give out some just awareness of mental health in general, especially for guys. That's why I started this podcast, because it's always been one of those sort of things that not frowned upon, but it's just nobody really. It was only guys are meant to be the strong ones who don't feel sad and all this stuff, which was always the kind of mindset I was in for years, and that is why I had so many problems. But now that I've started opening up and using this as a sort of mental health diary, if you think about it, because you guys aren't talking to me in the same sort of sense as a conversation. We are having conversations like in the comments and everything like that. But like this is just more me as a way of me sort of venting in a way, but also trying to help people as well. This is what this podcast has always been for me. It's a bit to help me, but also the aim is to try and help others out there that might not know that going for a nice hike in the woods or a nice hike out in the hills could help you clear your head and, you know, take some of the stress away from your day-to-day life. Because living in the city, living in a city and a town, it can get to you, and I understand that. And it's something that a lot of people struggle with, just not being able to do these sort of things. And I hope for the people that are physically unable to get out in the hills, this is like a wee bit of an escape for you. Me talking about the places I've been, seeing the photos I put up on Instagram, and all the other stuff that I do. Hopefully it's helping someone. I'm not trying to help. Not that I'm not trying to help everyone. I know it won't be the same for everyone. Everybody will have their own techniques on how to look after their own mental health. But hopefully this is what's helping some people out there and giving them the inspiration to just get out in the hills and enjoy it. Enjoy Scotland. Enjoy wherever you're from. You know, not just Scotland. Scotland is fucking beautiful, but you know the rest of the world exists, even England. But that's a joke. Nobody take that seriously. But yeah, my next podcast will be up in May, and we all know what that we'll be talking about, or will be the Kilt Walk. I will hopefully be able to get Alan and Susie together. I might even ask Mark, who runs our new scout hall over at the Copper Mine in Gurok, to see if we can even use the hall over there, and we could try and see if we could record even just an audio podcast between the two of them, talking about the Kilt Walk, talking about seeing how they felt about it, how it helped them mentally. Because I think it's going to be really great just being out walking with a lot of people. Might meet some new friends, might even meet some fans of the show. I don't know how big the show really is. I know we've got a lot of views on Spotify, so hopefully I'll meet some of you out there. But to everyone that's participating, good luck, everybody. You are doing a great job fundraising and everything, and thank you to everybody who's gave money to Chaz that I'm supporting. My Just Giving page will be linked in this description below on Spotify, YouTube, everywhere else that I post this podcast. And yeah, hopefully we'll meet my target of £150. So thanks a lot for listening. This is going to be short. This has been 15 minutes of me just rambling on about. See, this is what I mean. I love to talk. Sorry, but yeah, thanks for listening, and I hope you all have a great day. Get out there, get out in the hills, and stay safe, everybody. Bye.